All right, good evening. Welcome to the Sweet Talk. Today is Wednesday, May 1st, 2019. Woohoo! I am your host, Kim Matina. I am a gold product expert in the Google for Education, CS First, and Jamboard Help Forum. And I am also a Google certified trainer and a technology teacher down at Galloway Township Middle School in Galloway, New Jersey. And today I have on Bruce Reicher. I hope I said that right.
You got it.
And my friend Bruce, this is my first time meeting up with Bruce, but I feel like I know him because we've been interacting on Twitter. But Bruce is a technology teacher for over 20 years at the Upper Saddle River Township School. He's also in the middle school. He brings a lot of experience to us because he is a WeVideo and CodeStir ambassador, and he is a Brain Pop certified educator and also a Google certified educator level 1 and 2. So, welcome to the show, Mr. Bruce.
Thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to finally meet for us too, face to face, besides, just being on Twitter and other things and Facebook. And I'm excited to be on and share how I use Google tools to get through the day for myself and also like how the students are using it.
Yeah, and it's nice to see that you're using G Suite with WeVideo. So you're actually app smashing or app mashing the two, and you're actually being really productive because you're creating a video that gets aired daily through your school, correct?
Exactly. And that's where like the thing with the workflow really comes in for me is we're adventurous enough that we go to the first week of school. And then after that, we actually do 170 shows live in a row every single morning. And then all of the video that we feed in, the openings, all the features, all the slideshows, everything is done through WeVideo by the students. So I try to keep like a tight workflow myself to get it all done and also make it so, we have every single eighth grade student takes the class only for one marking period. So they're in there for a very short time, but we get about over 150 students, through the program every year.
So what kind of tech are they exposed to when they're doing this TV video production class?
Well, we're lucky enough in my school district, it's a one-to-one. We use Lenovo Chromebooks as the third year that we're in that. So basically all the Google tools on the Chromebook. There is a classroom where we have a green screen set up and cameras and microphones. And then there's a whole nother classroom that we converted into a TV studio where they actually do the show. So the show is done in a totally separate room, in the school. So basically, they have their Chromebook, cameras, microphones, and green screen, and the rest of it is their imagination to come up with stories and do reports that will air on the show.
All right. So why don't you take us through your morning, what you do in the morning? I'm curious to see what you have to say and how you do it.
Yeah, my morning, believe it or not, I wake up at 5 in the morning and start getting ready. And usually between like 5:30 and 6, not necessarily writing the script, but just updating the script. So I try to keep it as up to date as possible. So the news is current, the sports is current.
Now,
Um,
your script, is that in Google Docs or are you using like a teleprompt?
I'm going to be sharing it with you. It's actually in Google Slides. And because we're a one-to-one program with the Chromebooks, the script is shared with all of the students. And it basically is like a template of all the things that we have in the show. And we have our own Gmail dedicated to the show. So it's a lot of copying and pasting. I'll copy and paste the announcements from our own Gmail. I'll get the news headlines from USA Today, day in history from the New York Times, learning section. And I'm not necessarily sitting down writing it from beginning to end, but just copying and pasting into the script. And then the students, so that's usually from 5:30 to 6. When they get to the school at 7:30, they don't have the right to change the script, but they have the right to comment on anything in the script. So they become like my editors, that they'll read through everything. If, some kids are into sports, they'll write an updated sports thing. We'll end up copying and pasting it, into the script.
Okay. Okay. And then what happens after that? Then you go live?
Yeah, we once I get to school, another teacher with me, the enrichment teacher in the school, Jonathan Harvey, he doesn't teach the class with me, but it's very important. I have another teacher in there with me. We're there at 7:30, turning everything on. The students arrive at between 7:45 and 7:55 is the first bell. And if they're not there by 7:55, if they're an on-air person, I tell them it's not to be mean, it's not punitive, whatever word you want to use, but they will not be on the air that day. Because then we have about 8 minutes before we go live to get somebody else in their spot, share the script with them, have them read it, and also change the character generator and a couple other things behind the scenes. And then 8:03 every morning, we go live from like 6 to 8 minutes. It's streamed internally in the school and then recorded through YouTube. But then we actually take it and I just put it up in a public Google Drive, and right from the website they could see a replay of the show.
Oh, okay. So it's in YouTube, but as unlisted or private.
Correct. It's just unlisted, so
Okay.
you can only see the stream in the school. The stream does go through a piece of hardware called the Maxtor box that sends out the IP address, and basically the teachers have a shortcut on their desktop. They click that twice, and then it puts up the show.
Now, what about so the public, like the parents they can't obviously see it because it's unlisted on YouTube, but is it posted anywhere on the website?
Yeah, every single day, right on the homepage of the school, it says like CTV shows, and when you click on that, it takes you to a public Google Drive folder, and then in that folder are the years and then the months of the show.
Oh, cool.
So
Okay,
right
yeah.
now we've posted that way for like the past 3 years.
Nice. Okay, that's good. At least it's accessible.
Yeah, and usually depending on my own day, but by 3 o'clock by the end of the day, I actually on a MacBook Pro, I download the show from YouTube, and then with QuickTime, I just trim the beginning and the end and click it, and that seems to render it like very quickly, and then I just upload it to Google Drive, and the
And that's
process
it.
takes 10 or 15 minutes. Like
Yeah.
if there's any because we do the show live, so once in a while if there's different technical issues, I can put it into WeVideo and edit out parts of it, but most of the time I'm just trimming the beginning and the end and then
Yeah,
post
and
it
then
up.
that's it. Yeah, that's cool. So why don't you explain or go through some of your G Suite tools and WeVideo workflow for us?
Okay, cool.
Just curious to see what you do with that.
Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen with you, and you should be able to see it in a second, and I'm
Yep.
gonna share the slideshow.
Okay, I see your slideshow.
Okay, cool, perfect. So this is just my own information on Twitter, and I know we're posting it different places in Wakelet in the show notes, and the whole thing. This is information about WeVideo, and basically, I found it to be the best solution for our school. We were one-to-one with iPads for 7 years. We switched to Chromebooks about 3 years ago, and we couldn't use iMovie anymore because you can't install it on a Chromebook. So WeVideo not only works on Chromebooks, but you can start your project on any device. So you could start on your phone, you could start on any type of tablet, it's Mac or PC, it doesn't matter the platform, and you can then log in and continue it on any device. It's very easy for the students' Google accounts to connect to it, so they actually log in right through Google, and it talks perfectly to Google that when you're done with your project, well, when you're doing your project, you can import right from Drive, and then when you're done with it, you can export also right to Google Drive. It does export video, and they added last week, and the one nice thing about WeVideo, they seem to be fluid with their updates, is now, believe it or not, a lot of people, even though it's called WeVideo, use it for to do podcasting, and now you can also export audio. So they're
Ah, that's
recording
good
their,
to know.
yeah, like it's counterintuitive of that's called WeVideo, but there, I know a couple of teachers who they record the whole podcast on the audio track. They, could put in a picture or two before or after it, but now they've added you can export it out and then wherever you're going to post your podcast.
Now, before you go on,
Hmm.
let me go back here. Um, I'm assuming that this is in your premium account, or is this in the free version of the WeVideo account?
This is, yeah, I am using the premium account.
So
They
all
do,
of these features are in a premium account.
I believe most of them are going to be the free account is like a late version of it that will let you, experiment with it to get in. But like you can export from the lite account, but it will put a watermark on it and only let you do a limited amount of space. I know WeVideo, for educators, they offer a 30-day trial where you can get the full version and import your students and try it. And they're also very good about piloting the program in a school where they'll give it to you for longer than 30 days, as long as you report back to them all the different ways that you're using it.
Okay.
But yeah, that is most of these things are in the premium version.
I do like the option of having the audio and downloading just the audio, because it's just another option to podcast in. Instead of, you may not want to use Soundtrap, you can use WeVideo, which
Right,
is that's nice. It's
and
nice to
especially
have that
for
option.
yeah, sorry, especially for students like mine, like they're used to already the whole interface of WeVideo. So for them to record an audio track and, dub it out at the end and, put a music bed below it, that's pretty simple for them to do since they're used to, the interface to begin with. Just so you know, when we bought WeVideo with the Chromebooks, when we went to one, they do have bundles where you can get it with Soundtrap and explain everything. And I think originally when they bought all the Chromebooks, it was like $2 or $3 for like all three of those together. Normally, I think WeVideo starts at $5 a student, and then the more you buy, the less the price is. So the premium is definitely, an issue, especially if you don't have a lot of funding. I know my own school, we went out and said, what are different databases that we might not use as much anymore, like older video databases, and we stopped getting those, and the money goes to WeVideo every year. So they made it like this was something that was in the budget already.
Yeah,
But it,
they just cut it. So
right. It
yeah,
is a recurring cost, but another way to think about it is if your Chromebook is $150 to $200, you're paying $5 more for WeVideo as opposed to whatever Mac device you're using. iMovie comes for free, but you have to also,
yeah,
buy
the
the
Mac
MacBook Air.
device is, could be twice as much or three times as more as well. So I get you.
Correct, but that's a good
You just have to pitch it the right way to your administration so they'll get the
correct.
premium version.
And either education foundation or PTO, or if you can, I know in my own district, like I said, they actually sent out a Google form with one of these databases, are you using or not using? And some that they just don't use anymore, they were paying for. So I
Yeah,
think that's how they paid for some of it.
that was smart.
Yeah, no, very you have to definitely plan it out. And but when I do WeVideo workshops, that's a very common question because it isn't free. And doing the green screen and all these some of these other tools without having a watermark and unlimited space, those are all part of the premium version.
I'm
So
glad I asked because you did clear that up.
no,
That's good. Thanks, Bruce.
that's definitely a good question. And like I said, they're very educator and school friendly. That not only for 30 days, and I'll show you where that is on the site later, but you can pilot it for a longer period of time than that. And I've
Okay.
done that with some schools, and it's worked out well.
Okay, that's good to know.
A couple other quick integration things. When you're done with your video in WeVideo, you log in through your Google account, and then there is a way to share it directly to Google Classroom. So you could do an
Nice.
assignment for the video and have the students hand it directly in there. And also, it opens up Drive within a project, which is brand new to WeVideo. I think about 3 weeks ago, they started this where right in the WeVideo interface, you can open up your Drive right within it. And then if the student was doing a voiceover, or if you had the students doing planning sheets and they needed to look at it, they could open it up right in the WeVideo interface, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
This is kind of like the second slide on WeVideo. This is a super important one though. 1 million copyright-free video clips, still clips, and audio clips. So my students in the past, we used Google Images and went through all the rights for them. We no longer use that anymore. Now, when you're in WeVideo, this comes with it, and this is free. That comes with the premium version that you just go through a searchable database. And if you're doing a report on Washington, D.C., you can just type that in, and all free video clips, still clips, and audio clips come up for you.
That's nice.
Safe for students, you're in their garden wall basically when you're logging into WeVideo, so it's safe. And then the final bullet, and then I'll show you some links, is students can collaborate on a project. Now, this is not like the collaboration that you might have in a Google Doc where it's real time. The students collaborate together, they sign up together in the same project. Right now, only one person can edit at a time. The other student could provide other assets for the project, but it will like lock out anyone else who goes to try to edit it. I find this helpful. I have students going to enrichment band, sick, out, all these different things. They're with partners in their videos, and if they're out, the other partner has access to their project. Where in the past, I would have to go find their login to iMovie and go on a specific computer. Now they could just set it up as a collaborative project, and that kind of takes care of that for me.
Okay. So that's nice because I mean, it gives them both access to it, even though one is locked out while the other one's editing. So I
Correct.
mean, it's
And
still nice to be able to have access to it.
that general like workflow, if I have a group of 3, I'll have 2 that come down to the end of editing the project. Then the other student will just begin. They do 2 video features in a marking period. So like the third student will just go ahead and start the second feature. For the live TV show. So this is WeVideo. This is their resource hub. And this they've made more school friendly because it was on a social networking platform in the past. Now it's just part of their website. And as I scroll down here, there's a lot of different exemplars that are here that are fantastic. And what I really like on the left is you could pick your grade level, you could pick what features you want, and then it will find the videos for you.
Well, that's nice that they filter that out. That makes it easier.
Oh no, it works really well, and they opened it up to all educators to upload if they wanted to upload, to this resource hub. And I get a lot of ideas from from watching these, either how people do green screens or other ways that they possibly, like this one right here. This is our education person, John Klein, for the United States. He's showing how he's in front of a green screen, and then he's putting the WeVideo behind him as he's explaining and pointing to things, of different ways that you can use the green screen.
So these are these templates too?
Yeah, as part of the WeVideo package, when you log in, I think there's about 10 different templates that you can go in, and it shows you exactly how they made the videos and gives you tips how to use them. And when you go into the template, it makes a copy for you, and then you can put in your own video, audio, effects, all of those type of things. Myself, usually I start with a blank canvas that I usually start with a blank one. However, they have ones for like a science experiment, and if you were a science teacher and not so sure how to use WeVideo, you could have the students use the template and it would show them exactly what to do.
Okay.
If I go back to this, this is very helpful if you don't know WeVideo at all. They call it WeVideo Academy, but this is their library. So these are all 2 to 3 minute videos that they've created. And this takes you everything through the administration of how to set things up to examples with their tools.
So this
So
will get you started on using it.
this will get you started on using it. And with the students, I frequently use these that they already have all the videos done for choosing your format. Animation is just like Ken Burns. They have color keying tips, voiceover tips, all of these things that I'm hovering over. are little short 2 minute, less than 2 minute videos that show you exactly how to do those things.
Yeah, well, that's good to know. Believe me, I could have used that when I was making my video.
Yeah, no, I mean it's helpful, and I think in the beginning for me, I find that I watch video a lot either on YouTube or through these tutorials because everything is kind of out of context if you never used it before. Even now I know creating an animation is what the Ken Burns effect was in iMovie, but before I watched this, I didn't know what an animation was in WeVideo when I first started using it.
So I know you have the link in your presentation, but where, if I go to the WeVideo website, where would it be in there in the website?
In the WeVideo website, all right, let me just open up to the right from the beginning in WeVideo.
So you go to wevideo.com.
Correct, thank you. Yep, WeVideo.com. You want to go to For Schools, and then there are three sections here: For Learning, Educational Leaders, or Resource Hub. Everything I just showed was in the Resource Hub, but here's the other, like For Learning. Here's where you would sign up for free for 30 days for your class. I'll show you that. That's just a simple form to fill out. I think it shows you on the left. Basically, this is what you can get for free for a month, and this is the full version. So for a month, you could put 30 students in and have them collaborate, do groups, green screen, basically everything. This is not the light version. This is the full version
Okay.
that you can, and as an educator, you can get that. And also, like I said, they have someplace on here too, the pilot that you can also sign up for if you're interested. This is important. This is the CEO of the company now. He's an educator and professor. So I think that's also helped in, the past 6 to 8 months that he's been there, that the company has, really focused on education along with, business products that they have. So this is where where you would find it. And the other links, that's going straight to WeVideo. The resource hub, WeVideo/Academy is where those tutorials were.
Okay.
So that's a little bit on WeVideo. I'm not going to show this, but the link here actually takes you to the full morning show because I want to make sure I get to some of the things where I'm using Google Suite myself to get all of these things done. But this link will take you to the actual show that people could see. So now we get into my original idea when we connected with each other was how would I use Google Slides to do all of these different things? So this whole list of bullets I use every single day in the show. So my daily script is in Slides, any background, the monitors behind the students, the green screen, pictures, everything is in a Google slideshow. All the students get it on their Chromebook. They're shared with the secretaries in the school if students ask them about announcements. The script becomes our teleprompter. And I found it much easier to put it in Google Slides for workflow because a teleprompter will come with its own software, but that is not shareable, where
Okay.
this can be shared with me and all of the students.
Now, do you have like a separate Google Classroom for this purpose, or is this
Correct. We
okay?
have the show is called CTV for Cavallini TV. It has its own separate everything, Drive, email, all of those things don't go to me, go
Yeah, it
to
goes to
that
the
separately.
So when
Um,
you share this like with the secretaries or with the students, are you actually sharing with the share button or are you putting it into a Google Classroom?
Generally, it's just the share button.
Okay.
Yeah, I
And
could
then
do
you
it.
just share it with a group.
Correct. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Usually, I mean, my class size is between 15 and 20. So usually I could just quickly put in their last names and share it with them. And the secretaries, I put it in the beginning of the year. And then, as you know, the cool thing about this is there's one copy of the slideshow. And then the next day, that just becomes the next copy.
Yeah, which is
Um,
nice. All you're doing is changing the content.
I mean, I've done the show for 12 years. For the first 7 years, I did it on PowerPoint and I was printing out 35 PowerPoint slides every single day. And that, was a different format. I would end up the year with 170 separate files, of the script. So this was like a big workflow improvement, for me. I'll show you an example of the script. I think it's this one. I have a lot of tabs open. Okay, this is like what the script looks like. So this is actually the script that the students use today. And basically, I put it in the present mode like you would put a slideshow. And I also find when students are reading this, I don't have to worry about their cadence because I can have someone controlling and clicking the Google slideshow during the show. So picture students are reading this off like a 15-inch teleprompter, and these are all of the slides.
I like that because it gives them the control of the pace of their reading level too,
Exactly.
which is nice, and you don't have to worry about the teleprompter scrolling too fast. That's a good
Exactly.
idea, Bruce. I like that idea.
And even like, low tech, I mean, you don't need a teleprompter to do this. I have kids who can hold this up behind the camera in the classroom and then just have another student with a wireless mouse can go through
Click
and
in
click
on it.
through the same way
Yeah,
we do in the show.
that's good. I like that idea.
And this gets shared with them on their Chromebooks. They don't write this. I mean, they have commenting privileges that they could go in and they could make suggestions or if any of these things are wrong. And then there's one computer that we have editing rights to that they can go in and change. So I'm running two different slideshows during the show. That's the slideshow with the actual script. This is the slideshow with all of the graphics. So this would be all of the backgrounds for the students. So this is behind like when the students come on at the beginning of the day. When we do the Pledge of Allegiance, this is what's showing. Day in history.
So
This
this is showing behind the students.
either behind the students with a 42-inch monitor.
Oh, okay. That was my next question then. Okay,
Yeah.
I got
In the TV studio, there's a Chromebook that goes HDMI out right into a TV HDMI in. It's the only thing the 42-inch LG is running. And a student is clicking through as it's the background for the other students.
Okay, I gotcha. Good.
And
All
I
right.
found myself like if you can hardwire anything, do it.
Do it.
Because
Yeah.
we used iPads for 5 or 6 years and they were fine. We used them with Apple TV, but the wireless, had a life of its own where I know if it's connected directly, it's also HDMI to HDMI, so the quality is
You're
really
not gonna
good.
have any issues.
This is where we start getting into green screen. So a student would be in front of this with the green screen doing the weather, doing the sports. And then that looks really good. These become the picture-in-picture over the announcers. So on the video switcher, there's a way to make it a box, a picture-in-picture. So this becomes like the boxes over their shoulders as they're talking about there's no newspaper meeting this week, these type of things. And then this goes back to this was like for the future and birthdays, and then the end of the show.
Okay.
But the similar type of features with this, I can control all the graphics where I can log into this from home. And after I do the script, excuse me, if I want to throw things in, I can, pictures and do them copyright free, just do insert image right from Google Slides. And the same with the students. A student will come in and they will go and update this every single day, with images that match the script. And now I just have two clean Google Slides files, no printing. These are the two things I could update, one with graphics and one with my script.
Okay.
So workflow wise for me, I teach the class by myself, even though I have a person helping me do the show. It's a huge time saver. I don't know a different way that I would. There's other ways that you can import, get your video to play on the show, but it's easier for me just to have it in a slideshow.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you have to do what's easy for yourself. It sounds like I actually like having the script in slides and then having someone control the images in the background is nice too. So now where does WeVideo come into play here?
I'm sure WeVideo comes into play that the opening of the show, the feature of the show, any video that we roll in is done on WeVideo.
So that's done prior to this part or after?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the class has 3 sections in one marking period. So as one section's doing the show, the other 2 sections are working on the content of the show.
Okay, so the WeVideo content part of it, the students are actually doing what?
They're creating full features for the show, and then also some openings. I'll show you an
Okay.
example. If I go into today's show,
Yeah,
I
because
could show.
I watched today's show and I'm like, how did he do all that in WeVideo?
Yeah, a lot of it is done live, but any video that we roll in, that's the we video part. And and let me tell you, there's tons of different ways to do this. You could do the whole thing offline and not be live, and you could do the whole thing with a green screen in your classroom. And we video has a template to do a morning show, and you could do the whole thing offline if you wanted to. We just chose to do it live because we could end up doing it like every day that way, but there's no right or wrong way. You could do it
Yeah.
weekly, bi-weekly. I'll go right to the point where they play the.
So see the TV behind the girls. That's a video.
Yeah, I'm just getting to the beginning of it.
So it's like snippets then of videos that you throw into WeVideo.
Well, yeah, well, they become like full video projects for the kids. So, the kids have to come up with first of all, brainstorm, come up with a topic in Google Docs. They write the opening, they write their interview questions, then go out and get the footage. And then when they come back and edit it, they'll edit it, shooting in thirds, do cutaways, green screen. It takes them about like 2 weeks to produce like a 2 to 3 minute feature that plays on the show.
Okay.
So this is like an example of the we video part.
Right. I got you. Okay.
So they're doing a voiceover on the audio track. She recorded herself. She's a very good artist, this girl. And then in we video, like iMovie, she sped it up. So see how fast she's going when she's drawing.
Yeah.
And then when they get to the interviews in this, I'll show you with you'll see with when it goes to the interview of the teacher. This is the stock footage from WeVideo. That's not a student in my school.
Okay.
So this is what we spend a lot of time on. I'll show you what you're going to see and then you'll get it. She's videotaped in an upper left-hand third so you could see the background. There's going to be a title that plays over her. And once she starts talking, it's going to cut away to video that the students actually shot of the B-roll. And you could do these things almost like pieces of paper or layers, or even layers in Google Slides. These are different layers in WeVideo.
Okay.
So there's a layer with text. She's starting to talk. It goes right to the cutaway.
And that's all done in WeVideo. That's
This
the
is
part that gets
correct.
edited or whatnot in there.
All
Okay.
of this was done as a separate, like offline video project. And the workflow part, when they're done, they share it to their drive. And then they share it with CTV, with the CTV TV drive. And then I actually get pinged an email saying that they handed it in. And I also have it in my shared drive.
So your WeVideo
Hmm.
actually just contains the video. It doesn't have, you don't upload any of the Google slide presentation in there.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. The WeVideo, and in the beginning of the show, they make like 30-second openings of all the different things on the show. That's the other type of project that they do. And sixth and seventh graders will do that if they finish their projects early. A lot of times, I'll say, they know WeVideo do a 30-second, opening for the show. Google Docs I use for basically my planning, where they could write their open, their middle, their closing. It's going to become the script for their voiceover. When we sign up for jobs the very first day, there's actually a table that's created in Google Docs, is how we do it. Gmail to communicate, so I can see their features, but also importantly, the teachers email in their announcements, and then I could just write back to them and be like, got it. I'm ready to go with it. You're all set. There's a way in here I'm not going to show, but I like the undo setting that you can undo for 30 seconds in Gmail. So if something is sent by mistake, you have 30 seconds to kind of click
Undo
don't
it.
send.
Yeah.
I think the default is like 5 seconds, so I put that in there. I like to move that up to 30 seconds. The Chrome browser, this is how I use it for, they have to come up with the first 20 or 30 seconds of their feature is researched on the web using the Chrome browser, whatever their feature is. And that's the list in the morning where I'm getting my sources from, WeatherBug, New York Times for Day in History, just the headlines from USA Today. And I have it set up workflow wise, so all of that whole list just opens up for me as tabs when I log in the morning.
Yeah,
I
so
don't know.
you have them pinned then, right?
No, well, not pin, but just in the setup of the page,
Oh, to
instead of
open
have
up the pages, I see, in the
exactly,
Chrome. Gotcha.
it opens them better than even pin. Like it will just open them up and refresh them for me every day. Google Classroom I do use to communicate with the students, and students can export their projects straight to Google Classroom from from WeVideo. And then the final slide I had was YouTube and Hangouts. We do stream unlisted, but through YouTube, and that's where I find most of my exemplar things. And when I do video conference, it's through YouTube. We video conference with a couple different classrooms, mostly actually with a classroom in Indiana, which is another middle school that also does a live TV show. And we'll go through Google Hangouts and through YouTube. And that's the last slide that I have. I could show you quickly. Oh, wait, actually, sorry, I have one more. Um, Site sheets and Google Photos. We have all the birthdays listed in a Google Sheet. And then I use Google Photos a lot to loop videos. If people send me pictures and I have to show them quickly, I could just put them in Google Photos and click the button, and it will be a loop slideshow for like the beginning or maybe the end of the show if teachers have pictures that they send me.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot. Like you really have your workflow down pat, and you integrated a lot of the G Suite tools with the
Exactly.
kids, and then you just mashed it all up with WeVideo. I'm kind of blown away right now.
Well, the thing to think about, and I tell people all the time, is we've done the show now for 12 years. I mean, the first year we started with 5 students, one person on there, one camera person, one switcher, and then over a long period of time, we built it out originally through using Microsoft Office, and then when we switched to the Chromebooks, we pretty much went paperless, and then started using a lot of these Google tools.
Yeah,
I
well, I
just
mean that makes sense. Once you switch over, you have really no choice but to use, G Suite with the kids for this workflow. So you kind of evolved over time too, which
exactly.
you have to, because in another 2 or 3 years it'll be something different.
I
But
just want to show you quickly, and then I'll get back to us facing each other. I'll get out of the screen share.
go ahead.
This is how quickly it is to log in to WeVideo. I log in with my Google account, and then I choose my Google account, and then I'm in. So these are all of my different accounts. I'm going to choose my school account.
Yeah, so it's single sign on.
Exactly. And for the administration of it, which I don't do, but I understand how it works, I think it's a CSV file you send them of all of your accounts, and then it uploads to it.
It uploads to it. Okay. Well,
These are
that's
their
easy then.
these are their templates that I was talking about before. And I'll show you in their template like their TV show. This is a great way to do it that you don't need to have a TV studio, just a green screen. So, and this would be copied right away once you open their template. And it's thinking, and I'm on a Chromebook. I have a lot of tabs open. So I'll show you the brand new thing, and I'll just say start editing. The brand new thing they added a month ago right here where the circle is, where it says linked resources. When I select that and then I link a resource, it opens up my Google Drive right within WeVideo.
So I can upload, a PDF file or an image or anything like that,
Well, this is for anything
or
in your
Google Drive
drive that
files.
you would just read from, or any storyboard that you would get. For things that you upload, you would actually go into the project, and you would actually upload it right here. This is a
Oh,
media,
okay.
This is a media folder, and then you would upload right from there.
Okay.
But what they've added is linked resources. If the teacher put a rubric, if a teacher put anything it wanted to share with the students, they could access it right from their drive, and they stay right in the WeVideo interface. So if they're doing a voiceover, they don't have to open a separate tab. They could go to linked resources and find what they wrote, and then once they find what they wrote, they would be right inside WeVideo to to go use it.
So that's different than adding the media then, what you just
Correct.
showed,
The
right? Okay.
upload would be to upload anything from your drive. Like, for example, if students did video clips and it was in their drive, it will upload PDF. So you can also, with a Google Slideshow, share it as PDFs and then you can upload it right into WeVideo. I think there's like 600 different media types that you could upload to it. It accepts any type of audio or video file. That's what's new is the link resource where they could open up their script they're reading, they can open up their storyboard, they can open up the rubric from the teacher, more extra resources that
Extra.
they would have.
Wow, that's major. That's major. I'm kind of overwhelmed right now with all the things that you went over because it's a bear. Like, but you have such a good handle on it. Like you said, you've been doing it for so many years that you kind of can do it with your eyes closed. Me, I'm trying to follow along what you're doing, and
Yeah,
I'm not a WeVideo expert at all. So for me, I'm a novice. So I learned some new stuff with you about from you about WeVideo, but your G Suite, how you're using your G Suite tools and apps in there. It's nice to see that you're using Google Slides as a script and as your background image. You're not just using it for like a presentation. Technically you are, but you're not. Like it's more like a script prompt or teleprompter. But it's nice to
right.
see how you're using it in that way.
Right.
And
Some of it is just like, workflow out of necessity of like, instead of having all different computers that are going to
yeah,
have pictures in the background, everything comes off of one computer and then you just keep
yeah,
adding
you
to
just
that
keep
slideshow.
adding to it, and it's nice because you don't have to say, okay, I have to go to this website, I have to depend on that tool, or everything is G Suite, so everything is accessible right within that account. So it makes sense that way.
Yeah, I mean, the thing to think about, because when people have come to visit my school, they'll see the kids do this, and it's amazing. They come 15 minutes before the show, and then they're on live and they do an 8-minute show, but that's over a long period of time. And also, they see the show every single morning in sixth and seventh grade. So the most difficult part was when I started, like I'm explaining to different students, I had done this at a previous school, and they were like, they had no prior knowledge. So they had no idea like what the announcers look like or the host
Yeah,
or feature person. But now they actually come in with the prior knowledge. They don't know how to do the show, but they've seen the show for 2 years. So getting started, is
you kind of know
it's
the
hard. But you
format.
start small and then you bump it out.
Yeah, yeah. They do a live show at my school too. Um, but I really don't know like what he does. Like they actually, I know I honestly I can't tell you because if I say it, it may be wrong and
No, no
I
worries.
don't want to do that. But I know they do a live show every day and
Cool.
it's a lot of work. Doing anything with video is a lot of work. So
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point with like anytime you do video, like I honestly go by like a 5 times rule, like it's going to take you 5 times longer than you think. And I'll have classroom teachers who will say, I'm going to do a public service announcement project. And I'm like, or whatever the project is, like, how many classes is that going to take you? And they're like, one. I'm like, oh, you better multiply that by 5 because you're basically going through the writing process with video of brainstorming, planning it out, videotaping, and the kids could go out and maybe a microphone isn't on, then you have to go out and tape it again. And that's
yeah,
just the normal learning process of it, that
yeah.
it's going to take longer than you think.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up too. So that's good to note. But yeah, that was a lot of information. And Bruce is going to be on again over the summer to talk about more with WeVideo. I know he went over his show and how he used G Suite with his show and his workflow, but he is nice enough to come back on and just go over WeVideo. Because like I said, I'm a novice with it and I would like to be able to learn a little bit more than what I did for my video with it. So I appreciate you doing
Oh, no
that, Bruce.
worries. And I always think like the learning for me when I go to ed camps and I'm leaving and my head's spinning is I'm just like, just try to take away one or two things that you could like use in your classroom tomorrow
Yeah,
because you start seeing all these different things. And if you've never
it's
seen them before,
overwhelming.
there's a lot of different tools and whatever tools you can use and make them fit. And I think in G Suite, you can be super creative and, do almost anything with a lot of the different tools where you might not need third-party tools to do like a storyboard. You could use Google Drawing and you could make
Hmm.
your own storyboard or
Yep.
have the kids make it.
Yep.
It's just to see different, get the spark for your imagination.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. That could be a whole nother conversation with Google Drawings and storyboards. But yeah, you're right. Instead of going to this website and that website, think out of the box. Your tools are right there in your Google Drive. So use them and make them, gear them toward what you need them to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap up the show.
Great.
So let me share my screen. And can you see my screen?
Uh,
You
I
see
see my,
yourself?
yeah, I see myself. Yeah.
All right, good. All right, so um, you can visit my website at thesweettalk.com. That's the SUITE talk.com. And if you'd like to be a guest on my show, click on the guest tab and fill out this form here, and I will email you as soon as I can. This basically gives me information about what workflow or app that you want to share. This has been such a great experience for me. I'm so thankful. I have so many people that want to be on my show and pay it forward. So please continue to share and learn together. You can also go to the episode page and see the show notes and the YouTube recorded video here as well. I am also trying something new tonight, which is I am using Wakelet, and I'll put the link to Wakelet in the show notes. But the Wakelet is a curation of links and resources that I'm going to have available just for this episode. So Bruce's um, presentation will be in here as well. And the Flipgrid, I tried using Flipgrid tonight. So I will share the topic code with everyone as well, but you can also add your reaction in here as well. Let me go back to my video, my website. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am doing a contest right now. So the first person to be the 700 subscriber to my YouTube channel will win Flipgrid swag. So please do that. You can subscribe to my newsletter, and I am also available on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play Music. And with that said, I am going to go back to Bruce. Where are we at, Bruce? I got to find the tab. Here we are.
No worries.
So I would like to thank you again for being on. It was a pleasure meeting you and speaking with you and learning from you. And I can't wait to have you on again over the summer. Until next time, thanks for tuning in, everyone, and I will see you soon. Bye.